Hi, this is Michael Thayer, back with you for part 2 of Module 16. We were talking about Strategy 3, being a connector. So through effective communication, the principal and I are going to discover the assets among our parents and community members. Being a connector means building a network of relationships among people who are potential assets to the school and community, while inspiring among them a collective vision for school and community growth. It also means maintaining systems that sustain a healthy web of school-community relationships. Accountability, transparency, and sustained passion for the vision are all necessary. Being a connector is not simply tied to the listening campaign that we talked about in Part 1. It's an ongoing skill that will become part of our school's administrative culture of how we communicate with, engage, and activate our parent and community base. So, Category 3, resolve the issues based on promoting the success of all students. My plan of action effectively promotes the success of all students. It begins with database research to discover if the increased parental involvement is proven to help students learn and be successful. It engages families who are at-home supporters of what students do at school. My resolution draws on the following evidence from the case. First, Ms. Rose's background knowledge on the importance of having a comprehensive program with parental and community involvement. There are multiple studies to support this claim. Eccles and Harold, 1993, to Janes, 2007. This is not a passing trend. Documentation continues to show that higher levels of effective parent involvement contribute to higher student achievement. Also recall the video by PTO Today that we watched earlier in part 1. The current lack of a PTO or similar organization at the school and general low parental involvement in the school is something else that we have from the case. Also, various clues from the case demonstrate that communication with parents could be improved. For example, we're sending home letters with students rather than communicating directly with parents. We have engaged with select individuals rather than with the entire parent body. We have perhaps mismanaged our engagement with parents by asking for their labor, example in the cafeteria, without asking for their opinions and seeking to involve them in ways that might better engage their sense of purpose. The principal seems ready to share leadership in the area of increasing parental involvement. For example, he agreed to convene a parent involvement meeting and attempted to invite all parents to this meeting. So that's something that we can work with. Category 4, debrief the problem by reflecting on what I was thinking, feeling, and valuing by identifying issues that are unresolved or open to further investigation. 3 examples of reflection on what I was thinking, feeling, and valuing. First of all, I'm biased toward valuing parent involvement. In my experience as an educator, parents are the proverbial third leg to the tripod of student success, the other two, of course, being the student and the school, respectively. Also, I have intensely studied this line of thinking in my professional development, both at work and at FHSU. I'm also biased toward a collaborative approach to leadership and institutional problem solving. As a teacher, I have seen the benefits of this approach in my classroom when I involve students in decision making. As an employee, I've enjoyed being able to have a say in what happens at work. And as a parent, I see myself as a child's teacher, my child's teacher, and so my opinion needs to be valued by my child's school. 3. As I read through the case study, I found myself thinking that there are several erroneous practices in the way of parent communication, for example, communicating through students, and that one of my biggest challenges will be turning my principal's habits around. Doing so necessitates both a flexibility on my part and an ability to influence through relationship power. 3 issues that are unresolved or open to further investigation. First, does student performance data support the need for increased parent involvement? 2. Details about past parent groups. 3. Reasons for principal skepticism. These may help me influence him to see things differently. And I actually have 2 more. Number 4, parents' perceptions. Do they want to be more involved? How? What are their passions? 5, methods for increasing parental involvement and maximizing the effectiveness of their involvement. Standard 7, an educational leader promotes the academic success and personal well-being of every student by promoting communities of engagement with families and other stakeholders in the school's community. How I collaborated with families and community members to contribute to the school's success. I led a listening campaign that engaged families and community members in conversations about our current strengths and how we can get even better at what we do. I strengthened systems of communication with families to facilitate communication between stakeholders. I connected leaders with each other to create a stronger network of people working toward success for students and the school. How I respond to the diverse needs and interests of the community on an ongoing basis. Systems of multi-way communication, reaching a broad audience of stakeholders and listening to their perceptions and needs. Collaboratively creating future plans of action with parent and community input. Mapping out how diverse needs and interests can contribute to a more diverse school environment that is culturally responsive and inclusive for all students and their home communities. How I mobilize community resources to address and help solve problems in a way that supports the school. Mapping out community assets, systems of communication, and listening campaign and collaborative decision making. Category 5. Reflect on Standard 4 by providing evidence that I, as the educational leader, promote the academic success and personal well-being of every student by promoting communities of engagement for families and other stakeholders in the school's community. How I collaborated with families and community members. Managing the meeting of 8, listening and empowerment of parents, listening campaign that we led, identifying and connecting assets. How I responded to diverse community needs and interests. Listening to people, matching skills with ways of contributing, and building a community whose strength is diversity. How I mobilized community resources, uniting leadership, streamlining communication systems, and connecting assets with each other to strengthen our efforts through commitment to a shared vision. Component 1 is accomplished. How did I, as the educational leader, promote the academic success of every student while addressing the issues revealed in the parental apathy case study? So, number 1. Uniting leadership. Effective school leadership is necessary in order for all students to have access to an appropriate learning environment. In collaborating and engaging the principal in a process to improve our communication with parents, we will also be building our team rapport in a way that will trickle down to other decisions that affect the quality of the school environment, such as how we both lead and support the teachers in professional development. Listening to families. Listening to families will help me to understand both the school's strengths, practices that we are doing which are helping students be successful, and our areas for growth. When we are listening effectively to and communicating with all families, the principal and I should begin to see trends that can help inform our decisions of how we support teachers, students, and families, including practices to reinforce and promote and professional development that will help us as a community engage in conversations about who we want to be. Being a connector. Our students deserve the best. When skilled adults collaborate to create and implement visions, our students are the initial beneficiaries of our efforts. For example, if a parent or community member supports the school by donating park benches or the labor and supplies to landscape the campus, the students benefit by having a beautified physical environment. My effective multifaceted plan promotes the personal well-being of every student in such a way that contributes to the school's success. So component 2 is accomplished as well. So first, increasing parent involvement. Research shows that involved parents have healthier kids. See the video from PTO Today, 2013. Listening and responding to parent concerns. Listening to all of our students' parents will help us to be more aware of individual health and learning concerns that will in turn help us to treat individual students as members of our family to be cared for. 3. Appreciative inquiry. Building a culture that engages all stakeholders in recognizing the positive, acknowledging our successes, and planning next steps can trickle down into classrooms, where students have healthier experiences with the school as a place to engage in learning, celebrate success, and take part in planning their next learning steps. Component 3. My plan promotes communities of engagement for families and other stakeholders in the school's community while addressing relevant issues from the case study. So this is also accomplished. Number 1, systems of communication. Collaborating with the principal to develop, implement, fix, and sustain healthy and effective systems of communication is a prerequisite to effective parent involvement, and it is one of the first items that my principal and I will address. Listening campaign. Holding regular meetings with parents to involve them in decision-making will help engage parents and create and strengthen real school community. 3. Building a network of potential assets among parents and community will ensure that our efforts to involve parents in the school are anchored to skilled, caring, and passionate adults. Category 6, effectiveness of professional vocabulary, writing style, and format. My presentation demonstrates an adherence to the assignment parameters and effective use of professional language, format, and style. Here are my resources if you are interested in seeing them. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. It's been a fun assignment, and have a great holiday break, and see you soon.